Oh, you did join.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
good, good.
here.
All
Oh,
right.
your
I
hair
was
looks
just,
nice.
yeah, I had it,
Mhm.
the color done
Yeah,
today.
very
It
nice.
was fun.
Very nice.
Time to
Nice.
do it. All right. I
Okay.
know that this will be a very interesting conversation and our thoughts on it because somebody brought this to my attention. Um, we all know about it that a lot of people have those rings at their front door. And it's not only that inside that they can see you, but they hear you as well. So don't know whether there's other cameras inside following you around. So just be very careful what you're saying because you never know who knows who or who knows what. Plus, when you're outside, that ring, which I wasn't aware of, carries quite a distance, almost to the curb of the house. So buyer beware for sure.
Yes. So this is definitely a buyer beware little tip from the Graph Group Toronto. Um, please do not speak inside the house when you're touring, which we all know is very challenging. So you might want to walk around as a tip and use a pad of paper and make your notes. And you can, make your notes as to your opinion or something you want to share with your realtor, with your significant other, or your children, or your parents, whoever you're with. But definitely, it's almost shameful that you can't freely speak in the home these days. And you will not always know, but definitely if you see that ring at the front, there's a high possibility it's inside and just outside the door. So when you walk in, and just assume a good 25 to 50 feet
Yeah,
away.
absolutely. But you know what? You want to take in all the details. Take the time to really think about what you're seeing and whether it suits your needs or not. But leave any detailed comments or negotiating. Even somebody even said that they heard somebody on a front door, it was positive they were going to prepare an offer, which is good, but that element of surprise sometimes is good to have when you are a seller. And just protect your privacy and its strategy, another form of strategy.
100%. Because when you're negotiating, you don't want someone to really know your cards. You know, it's like poker. You might want to bluff a little. There is like I said, there's a strategic way of approaching an offer, and leave that to the professionals because they know how to ask the other side the questions to help us be aware of how we need to go about this. Cheryl and I have done, I don't even know how many offers and deals in my 30 years and Cheryl's 44 years. You can only imagine. And, most recently we did a few where I had to say, hold on a minute, I have a feeling, and let me speak to the agent, which way to go, how many times do we have to go back forth? And, luckily, both uh, Cheryl and I knew our client quite well, and the other side knew their client quite well, and we knew how to work together to make it happen. But if they have some of the information, especially a buyer or a seller individually having that information, you really need the in between people to make it work. And you you should feel represented by your own realtor, not because you as the seller just heard what the buyer was truthfully speaking. So it's just not
Sometimes, some
right.
sometimes also a buyer could be caught up in the moment and they could say something. And then when it comes to actually putting it on paper, their thoughts could have changed and they started thinking more carefully. And, as time goes on, things change. So, and then you, as a seller, hearing something, are disappointed or you hold out and they don't come to that number, and then you could lose a deal as
Yeah,
well.
very good point. Because, like Cheryl said, somebody can get caught up in the moment and then they go and they talk with their partner and then they talk to their realtor and then they talk to a family member and they learn more about the home, perhaps, and reasons why their number is no longer justified that you might, as the seller, heard in the conversation. I get it that the sellers are very eager. They want to know more information. You know, um, we're very communicative with our sellers, and we let them know that we will be in touch with them. But you have to give people a chance to talk to each other and then to their agent, and then that agent gives us the feedback. So, I know it's a lot easier said than done, but as a seller, you need to lean back a little. You need to let your agents and the other agents and the buyers do their thing, and you must go through the process. It's not a race. Yes, we all, including Cheryl and I, will post sold in 3 days, sold in 48 hours, all that. It happens, but don't feel like anything's wrong if it doesn't happen. Because as they say, patience gets you the best things in life. And I'm living proof
Virtue.
of that.
Patience is a virtue. But
It is.
also, it's sort of like Big Brother is watching you. So you want to be careful what you say because sometimes a conversation can go off topic and it's not about the house. And you could be talking about something or someone that someone else should not be privy to.
Yeah.
So be careful what you're saying and everything. So, what's that background? It's definitely not a palm tree.
No, it's just some greenery in the little courtyard behind me in this little bar room I'm in.
Okay.
You know,
No,
it's nothing exciting,
that's
to be honest. It's
good.
charming,
Right.
maybe, but an elegant classic, that's it.
Good,
It's
good, good.
It's all good.
All right.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
that we can really keep this short because it's just a topic that came top of mind to us, and we
Mm-hmm.
want you to be able to share it with people, both agents, sellers, and buyers. Like everybody should be careful.
Be very aware. Yeah. And look, it's very easy to forget. So that's exactly like Cheryl said. We're just here to give you a reminder. For the sellers, don't take everything that you hear on the ring to heart. And for the buyers, be very, very careful. To the agents, be very, very, very careful what you say. And
All
that's
right.
it.
Okay.
Yes,
Have a
we're going to
good
wrap
day.
that up. Have an awesome Tuesday, everybody. We'll see
Enjoy.
you next week. Bye
Bye.
bye.